What's up, everybody? It's We Talking About Sports. This is the Sunday Sit Down, and I gotta say, Ron, that was a banger intro, bro. Good job on that one, cuz.
I appreciate that, man. Something to hype us up, get us started. We're going to go over some topics today. Only four short show, some conversation pieces. You know, we haven't been on in a while. How does it feel to be back, Ben?
Yeah, it's been a while, dude. Honestly, what I
Was it
think
like week 5?
maybe 3 weeks. Well, you honestly we'll blame it on you. We already congratulated you, but we haven't been potting since Ron became a dad. That's kind of when it happened. And since
Don't
the
you put that
Dodgers,
on me.
since the
Don't you put
Dodgers
that
were in the
on
World
me.
Series, us Astros fans kind of
You're
just
still
went into-
celebrating, by the way. We're
to
still
hiding. I
celebrating.
like it. Pop in the top, 10:45. All right. No, happy to be back. Got, a lot of games today. Texans, they already got their L out of the way on Thursday. I've actually been recovering, had a little cold, so I was sick as hell on Thursday watching the Texans get smacked. But big slate of games today. Fantasy football. It's getting close to the playoffs. Time for the playoff run, some last minute trades. Happy to be back, boys.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be back, Ron. You know what they say is
What do they say?
We are fucking back. We're back. Classic.
so back, baby. So back.
That was good. I like that, Judge.
We're so back.
That's courtesy of Ron, but let's get
us
into
started,
it. We got notable
Get us
week 9 matchups in fantasy chatter, and we're gonna open up the notable games. Dallas to 3-5. We got Bo Nix. A lot of people said Bo Nix was a bad quarterback to pick that early. What were the Broncos doing? And he's in the running for quarterback rookie of the year right now with those other guys. He's doing pretty good. We got Winston. Everybody wants to see famous Jameis win. He's got LASIK, and he's turning up. He beat the Ravens last week, so we'll see what's up. We got the MVP versus the New York Giants, the North Battle, and Showtime LA. Ben, you mentioned Thursday night that Texans, they played the Jets, and they took an L on the road. So what game today are you looking forward to? Is it a fantasy game for you that's big that you need to see? What is it for you today that you're looking forward to since you already got that one out of the way?
Yeah, it's pretty much fantasy purposes, and as shitty as it is, that Commanders and Giants game. I want to see Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy. You got Jaden Daniels. Brian Robinson is out today, has been rolled out, so it's probably be a heavy dose of Austin Eckler today. And, the Commanders have been playing really well. The Giants have been competitive. Daniel Jones has, started off the season decent, fallen off. But I just like all the fantasy players that I have playing in that game, so I will be looking onto that one. And then the Dolphins and Bills, another big, division rivalry. Tua is back. They lost last week on a last-second field goal to the Cardinals. Here they traveled to the Bills. They're 6-point dogs. The offense did look a little bit better. Tyreek Hill was startable in fantasy. Devon A-Chain had a top 10 running back week. So, yeah, those are the two games that mostly I'm looking forward to.
What about you, Ron? What are you looking forward to? Is it the electricity of Jalen Daniels? We saw last week that highlight win, Hail Mary into the end zone. Are you looking forward to that game tonight or today?
Bro, fuck Jaden Daniels, dog. I'm tired of this shit, bro. I went a little on him. I gave him his flowers, but hey, he's still in the NFC East, bro. And I'm a Cowboy fan till I die. So Jaden Daniels can fall off the damn horse for all I care. If that throw doesn't happen, we ain't even talking about him, dog. We still talking about Caleb, my boy Caleb.
So you have a Caleb ticket, I can tell.
Loser.
Somewhat. No, man, but interestingly enough, I will give Mando, the future groom, to be his some credit because his Broncos in 2 weeks, man,
11
we're
days.
gonna get crazy. And then John Jones the night after that. Hey, I put in my fucking vacation request already. Hopefully my managers ain't watching the show because they know I put personal on there. So we'll see. But shit, man. No, I'm looking forward to the Broncos and the Ravens game. Bo Nix versus Lamar. This is a measuring stick, I think, for both of them. Lamar has had some questionable losses this year. He's always going to have that monkey on his back about can he win the big games. And Bo Nix, rookie quarterback who we have not talked about because of Jaden and because of Caleb. But he has the Broncos on a winning record, bro. If this guy goes into Baltimore and wins, I mean, he's solidified himself that he needs to be in the conversation too for rookie of the year. Just my 2 cents. I don't know if that's a little crazy or not. But I'm interested in that game, man. You cannot run on the Ravens and you cannot pass on the Broncos. So we'll see. And it's early too. No, what is it? Is it the 12 games?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the Ravens, I mean, I don't know if we're going to get into individual games, but I think the Ravens are going to smack them. I think the Ravens are going to smack the Broncos today. After a loss like last week, they lost to the Browns last week.
Yeah.
You know, they come back here at home against the Broncos, a rookie quarterback. They added Deontay Johnson to the offense. I mean, I know that the Broncos are tough to pass on, but, you know, they have Derrick Henry, who I think is a rushing leader, or if
yes,
not
he
second.
Is.
Okay, I thought it might have been him or Barkley. But they got Henry. They got Lamar, who was on an MVP, you know, trajectory up until last week. I think that the Ravens come out and win by 17, 20 points.
That's a lot.
Yeah, maybe I'm exaggerating and that defense is a little too good, but I just see one-way traffic that whole game.
Yeah, we'll get into the game actually a little later on the betting portion of it. But Justin, what you like on here, man?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I'm looking for a new home. I am. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with the Cowboys.
Statement.
Here's the thing with the Cowboys. I've been a Cowboy fan since birth. You know, it was chosen for me. But 2-3 weeks ago, Jerry Jones made some comments to a radio host that I can't get behind. The radio host was asking real questions about what was going on with the team, and Jerry Jones' response was like, "I don't need this. I can get someone else. I can replace you right now." Basically, threatening the man's job, and that's how he puts food on the table. I can't get behind an owner that does that. I won't put any more money behind the Cowboys. You know, I buy T-shirts, I buy jerseys. I'll probably still watch them, right? Honestly. But until Jerry Jones goes, I won't be a Cowboy fan, quote unquote. I won't spend another dollar on the Cowboys until that day, until he's gone. And I'm not saying I want him dead tomorrow. I just want him, whenever he dies, whenever the good Lord takes him, whenever it's time appropriately, I'll be back as a Cowboy fan like that. So for now, I'm looking for a home. I don't know what to cheer for or where to go at this point. I'm up for grabs. If a fan base wants to say, hey, come over, you know, I'm interested. Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards the Lions because they are fun.
Oh, of course.
And that's not a necessarily winning franchise. You know, they've been through a lot too. So I'm kind of leaning that way. I do like that system over there. And it's only a temporary stay. I mean, I don't know how long Jerry has at this point, but only temporary stay.
You're going to be out on loan?
I'm on loan.
Honestly, Just, you might be fucked because I think Jerry's got the money to stay alive forever.
You know, if he hooks up with Elon, he puts his brain into one of those computers and he's alive forever. I might be stuck on loan.
I think we might go before Jerry does. The type of money he's got.
It might be that way. It's a sad existence for us as a fan, as a Cowboy fan.
The Cowboys are going to be the first AI ran fantasy franchise.
Yeah, and I just want to make clear, it's not the losing.
It can't get any worse.
It's not the losing. I can handle the losing with the Cowboys. We've lost all our lives. So it's not that.
You know what I didn't like, man, was when he showed up to practice in the helicopter and landed on the field and everything. Like, come on, dude. Who does that?
But that's for sure. But like when you're the owner, I mean, that's the type of shit that you do. I mean, not maybe that you do, but the type of shit you can pull off. Like, who's going to be like, hey, get that fucking helicopter off the field. Excuse me?
I'm the owner.
Yeah.
No, I understand, but what kind of message is that sending your players? Like, hey, I'm still the top dog. I can fire you whenever I want. Look at me. I'm more important than the franchise and
that's
the
what
team.
It's been.
I'm physically landing my chopper where you practice.
He's been the face of the Cowboys. Never a player. It's always been Jerry Jones. And almost the face of the league sometimes.
It's kind of like Vince McMahon, bro.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Vince McMahon, where at one point, like Vince McMahon, you could even say he wasn't a wrestler, but he had his era where like you thought WWE and Vince McMahon came to mind. He did wrestle at times, but Jerry just kind of tries to direct the show and kind of also make sure that
he wants to be the main character of the Cowboys. Honestly, it is what it is. You're right. You're completely right. So yeah, I'm looking for a home. NFC East out of the equation. Cannot go to another NFC East team. We'll never do that. So NFC North, NFC West, those are open. NFC South. I'm not a big AFC guy, you know, so I don't think I'll do any AFC teams. So
I could see you maybe going a little Hollywood since you like the Lakers and jumping on the Rams bandwagon, getting Puka back.
No, I don't think so. Maybe if Aaron Donald was there because I like that dude, but
What about the Bears? They're in the NFC.
We'll see. We're gonna have to.
There's a chance for that one.
We're gonna have to keep our eyes peeled as to when Justin, stamps it and makes the transfer loan official.
Yeah,
I could see him maybe going like Vikings.
I'll have a team but at the end of the week. Next Sunday, I'll have a team.
He's not a purple people eater. He's not.
I'll have a team by next week. We'll make that. We'll seal that down. Let's get into it though. Fantasy chatter, Ron. What's up? Highest player, projected points, week 9 by position. Lead us.
Yes, sir. So what I did here is this is a little portion of the fantasy. We're not going to go over stats today, individual matchups, nothing like that. Ben wanted to do something off the cuff. I totally agreed.
Just wanted to be back,
boys. Yeah, let's just
We're
chat.
just itching to come back.
It's 5 till 11. You still have plenty of time to tinker with your lineups after the show is over. So what I just did is the highest player projected points, week 9 by position. So what we're going to do here, Ben, is we're going to ask you, because I already saw the slides, and so did Justin. Too. So I'm going to ask you who the highest projected QB, running back, wide receiver, and tight end is. You give us a guess, and then we'll put the correct answer on the screen. Simple enough, pal?
That's pretty simple.
Yeah. All right, so who do you think is going to be the highest projected quarterback for week 9? You just had a guess, cuz.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, I don't think y'all would make it that easy. But like I said, I think that the Ravens have a big day, so I'm going to go off mine. I think it's going to be Lamar. I don't know if he's up there for a reason.
So he is up there for a reason. I'm glad you caught that because he's the highest points total player this year so far.
He's the highest scorer? Okay.
Yeah, at like 202.5. He's beating all the receivers, running backs, or whatever. So that was your answer, but it's actually, who is it, Justin?
Jaden Daniels.
24.5 points projected at the New York Giants today. He is your highest projected quarterback today. Ben's not too far off by saying Lamar. Similar game sets. So there we are with Jaden Daniels being the highest projected quarterback. Probably mostly because he is playing the Giants, and the Giants defense is not the greatest defense.
He's my fantasy QB too. I probably should have known that, but I don't have any Lamar stock, so I don't know what he's supposed to score this week. I just really like the Ravens today.
And Jerry, what's up, Jerry? Thanks for joining us, bro. We're back. We haven't been on in a minute. We're asking Ben who he thinks the highest player is at each position. If you want, throw up your your little answer too.
We got running back next, so throw up your running back answer for who's the highest projected running back in your estimation, Ben.
Yeah, who do you?
Yeah, for running back, I mean, like I said, I'm going off of my picks, but this is a guy he's gotten it going. He started grooving lately. Cold start to the year. No Tyler Algier today for the Falcons. I think Bijan, I expect him to probably be RB1 today. So I'm going Bijan, Alvin Kamara against Carolina.
Hey, to Jerry's point right here. Let's go back to QBs. He was actually the second ranked quarterback, I think, this year. And that's why I fucking lost last week because
he's been slinging the ball. It's coming up interceptions sometimes, but he's getting the ball out there. So you got to like Baker if you're a fantasy owner right now.
Yeah, Jerry, I think that they're asking just for this week, though. Just on this week, who's going to be who's projected the highest QB points? Season long, though, Baker was QB1 up until last week.
Receiver is next, Jerry. If you want to give us a guess for who you think is the highest projected receiver for the week.
Ben.
Guy that I just traded back for, bro. I traded this guy at the beginning of the year. And I actually just traded back for him. It's the first time I've ever traded a player. I traded this guy week 4, right before his bye week. And 3 weeks later, I traded back for him. Probably should have never traded him in the first place. But Justin Jefferson,
Here we go. Oh, CeeDee Lamb at Atlanta. We saw the monster game CeeDee had last week. A lot of it was in garbage time, but he had a monster performance. Ron, do you remember his projected or his total points last week? Somewhere where in the 30s, maybe even the 40s.
Garbage time, fourth quarter points.
Bro, he actually brought me back. Let me double check while you guys talk it out.
He won some games for people. He
won me a week.
He did.
Yeah, he really pulled away. And a lot of the guys, he played, was it Monday night or was it Sunday night? So they needed him to come through, and he came through heavy in garbage time, unfortunately, for the Cowboys.
Had a camarada that was like at halftime, hey, CD's on the trade block. And then you hit him up, Tuesday morning. Hey, what's up for CD? Nah, he's good.
He's good. He's
just
found a home.
He won the game off of the fourth quarter, so it was a lot of garbage time. But
Jerry makes a good point, though. He says, and I don't think anyone tops Garrett Wilson this week. He got 30 points. He went off on the Texans. We saw him hit the jump man touchdown. No catch, you think?
No. I think
because I think he had a foot in, and then his knee, like the shin of his leg, hits in.
No, that was not a catch. You said 2 feet, bro, that was not a catch. Great. I mean, it was a catch. It just wasn't a catch in bounds. Because
they reviewed it. They put it under review, and NFL did say they needed it. Yeah, they need the Jets to win. It's a big market. Houston's not as big. I get that part. But I just think that was such a highlight reel of a catch, though. I think it was.
Isn't that crazy? He put up so many points, dropped the 30 burger, and the score was not even. Did they even hit 21, 24?
Well, Adams
that's the Jets for you, bro. That's so Jets.
That's insane.
Adams had 22 points as well. So I mean, the two receivers had 52 points combined. And Rodgers threw 3 touchdowns. So Rodgers did end up with like 26 fantasy points.
And that was Perk Rodgers for sure. That game.
Everybody but Breece Hall ate. Everybody but Breece Hall.
Devontae Adams,
Braylon Allen ate too.
Came in at the end too. Was that late touchdown that got him the bulk of those points?
Yep.
All right, final one
is only tight end. Let's go to tight end. Who will be tight end 1 projected going into this week, Ben? Who do you got?
Tight end 1. I'm not mad at Evan Ingram, but I'm gonna go with Tyler McBride. That's my boy. Drafted him pretty heavy in a lot of leagues. He's been coming on. He's been having some top tight end finishes. I think Kittle might have been tight end 1 last week, but McBride was tight end 2.
Kittle's off this week.
Kittle's on bye this week. I'm gonna go with McBride.
Here we go. It is Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce. The Kelces were in the news yesterday. I don't know if you followed the news. Got a little sketchy. Got a little sideways for Jason.
What happened?
What happened?
Fan interaction.
You haven't been on the internet or what?
I want you guys to tell everybody watching what happened.
A fan was basically telling him that his brother was the F word, a gay slur, because he was dating Taylor Swift. Kind of was just obnoxious to Jason. Kelce got in his face a little bit. Kelce took his phone, slammed it to the ground, and said, "Who's the F word now?" Just big bossed him completely. And some of the people on the internet were upset. They were upset with Kelce for reacting that way. But I mean, the dude's in his face. What do you want him to do? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be pressing Jason Kelce like that if I was a normal person like that,
But it's what he said after he slammed the phone. Like, all the endorsements are going to get taken away now. His podcast. Dude, yes, it will. Yeah, you know the world that we're living in now.
So I've kind of been having this argument with one of my buddies. Like, not argument. We've been going back and forth. But like, he's like, "Oh, that's assault." So even after Gronk spiked the iPhone,
that was an awesome spike.
He picked it up and walked away with it too. So they're saying like, "Oh, that's robbery as well." Según.
Yeah,
but bro. So this happened before the Penn State and Ohio State game, right? If that's assault and that's robbery, and it's Jason Kelce, you know exactly where he's at. Whatever. How come he didn't get detained, apprehended? He watched the game, pounded his beers, went home. He's probably going to be on some NFL countdown show today. Like, ain't shit going to happen. I don't understand. I mean, I get the big deal. He broke the kid's phone. And using the F word at the end, I think it was just going off of what the kid said. I don't think that – I mean, like, nothing's going to happen to Kelce, guys. Nothing's going to happen to Kelce. I don't think anything's going to happen to Kelce.
I think something will happen to Kelce. I'm not saying jail time, obviously not, but I think that he's going to end up having to pay for that cell phone more than likely, and someone's going to take it to court. So, do they win in court? I don't know.
That would get you canceled. I think that's kind of where Ron was going with, like, oh, well, he repeated that homophobic slur back to him. He's going to get canceled. None of that's going to happen, bro.
You would have to think that there's some companies that are going to want to cancel him for it, though. There's going to be some sort of backlash. Somebody who's maybe leaning a different, angle than him would definitely want to not put his money behind them. Like a lot of the Twitter, they were talking like the Swiftie fans. They were the ones who were saying like, "Oh, we're so disappointed in him that he said the word back. He should have been the bigger man." So
There
there's already discourse happening for it. Does it get to the point where they're like, we're going to cancel him? I don't know, because those Swifties or whoever they are, I don't know if they're really listening to the podcast, his podcast at least. I don't know what the angle is, but it's going to be in the media, at least the internet media, for the next week or so. It won't die out so easily. I don't think.
I don't think that we're going to hear about it, bro.
You think it's over? Saturday was the last time we hear about that.
I don't think like we're gonna hear about it like on ESPN or anything like that. Like Jason Kelsey, think about where it was. Also, it was in PA. He's like a legend there. He's a god. Like,
then why is he getting heckled there?
Well, he was getting heckled because of his brother, and just because there's internet trolls. Like at the same time, if you're gonna get him for assault and theft, why don't you get the kid for stalking because he was following him? Why don't you get him for the verbal assault or whatever Karen type shit that people want to put on all of this stuff? Because that's what it is. Like this was nothing but an internet troll fucking around and finding out in real life. And luckily,
100% that.
Luckily, it was just
1000%.
his fucking Android, and it wasn't his head being body slammed on the concrete, bro. Honestly.
Yeah, it could have got worse, bro. It really could have. It could have went way more sideways. To me, in a normal situation, I would say he was justified. Like I wouldn't want to be. Like if I was a lawyer and he took me this case, do you want to press charges? I'd have been like, no, bro, that dude's justified in what he did. I think he was justified. He shouldn't get anything, but people want their money. They're going to fight for it. I think they will.
You know the side that I'm going to be on this, and it's
the super woke side.
Not at all. I mean, Jason Kelsey had a right to do what he wanted. Somebody was, like Ben said, verbally assaulting and getting in his face. It was a reaction. I mean, the dude played football for I don't know how many years. Testosterone naturally.
Oh, why you mess with that dude, right?
Like that testosterone naturally flows through that guy's veins. Unfortunately, though, in the world that we live in now, I think he is going to catch a case. I think it is going to go public. I think some endorsements, like the cereal company that he has, might kind of put a pause on maybe hiring him to do something else for their line. And that's just the way it is. But hey, it was cool seeing it, though.
Welcome back. Welcome back, boys. Gene says, what's up, Gene? Edgar says, kid was looking for a reaction and a payday. I agree exactly what it was. That's why he was so intent in going up to him and trolling him up close. And he says he'll settle it. I think that's what's going to happen. There's going to be some sort of payout, some sort of thing. It would be wise for Kelsey just to pay him out on the side where he doesn't have to, go to court and make it a real thing.
Yep. So that was current event news with we talking about sports.
Well, and not football related, but also Joel Embiid yesterday pushed a journalist
who talked about his dead brother.
Who talked about his brother and his dad. He actually put hands on him, not just his cell phone. But that one you might hear a little bit more about. Joel Embiid was also in the news because City of Philadelphia is slandering him for not playing, and he's saying, I've put everything on the line for y'all.
He's gonna get traded, bro. He's
something to keep an eye on, non-football related, but Joel Embiid in the NBA.
And you know what? Now that you mentioned the NBA, Jackson Hayes as well came out in the news, beat up his girlfriend. So, just stop hitting girls. Stop hitting girls. Yeah.
Oh, dude, he was kind of like a little beast down there. I want to say
when he could play, but he didn't play.
Like he's not bad. Like as a backup center in there, grabbing some boards,
not
throwing
great.
some elbows.
Not great.
He's a Longhorn, bro, and Justin don't even like him like that. So
yeah. We talking bets, notable spreads, money lines, over, under, and parlays. Ron, what do we got?
So this is just some notable stuff. I'm not going to break down every single game, but if you take us to the next slide, there's some interesting information on here. So for week 9, the highest spread is 9. That's Denver going to Baltimore, Tampa Bay going to KC, which is the Monday night game. If you like to throw some money on some dogs, those are the biggest dogs of the week at plus 340 on the money line. The highest over under is 52. Our boys, Justin, going to the dirty South in Atlanta. Kirk versus Dak over under 52, and the lowest over under for the week is 38. New England visiting Tennessee. Some futures real quick. AFC and NFC. The Chiefs are the favorites to win at plus 175. Justin, your possible new team, the Detroit Lions over there in Motor City, plus 275 to win the NFC. And since you have 2 Cowboy fans up here and a Texans fan up here, I said, why the hell not? Let's throw up the Super Bowl odds in week 9. Cowboys at plus 7,300 and the Texans at plus 2,000. We talking bets. That's what we talking about sports. What are we doing here, boys?
I want to talk about the Texans bet with Ben since we have him here.
We ain't flushing money down the toilet is what we ain't doing.
And so, Ben, we have seen CJ Stroud, and I don't know if we want to label it regression necessarily, because it is at the detriment of his O-line. You know, his O-line is not protecting him as well as they did last season. But we have seen him fall off a little bit, right? I mean, that's fair to say. Do you still think he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL this year with the way he's played?
I don't know about top 5 this year, but you also have Stephon Diggs with a torn ACL out for the year. You also have Nico Collins, who is going to be back next week, but has been out for 4 weeks. So I don't think it's fair to just say like, oh, CJ Stroud has fallen off. He's got, by PFL rankings, the statistical shit that all the nerds are into.
Yep.
He's got the least amount of time to throw. He's been getting sacked.
PFF.
Yeah, it's not like Deshaun Watson level, but I mean, there's no time. There's really no targets. Tank Dell was his only guy this week, and you saw Tank Dell with the big game, 18 points, fantasy, did everything but get in the end zone. Kenyon Green is out for the season, which is a good thing. There was rumors that he was going to get benched.
Bro, he sucks.
He's horrible. I hope that he recovers and plays for another team. Hopefully that the Texans play against. That way we get some easy ass sacks. But that dude should have been benched.
He literally got beat out the game, Ben. Like they just kept beating him to the quarterback to get sacks, and then finally somebody just bull rushed the hell out of him and literally put him out. They manhandled the dude, bro. It was like a UFC fight. It was like Brandon Moreno last night. It was like,
that's kind of like the Watson situation in Cleveland. I mean, maybe not to that level, but like Cleveland, we're like, man, what the hell do we have to do to get Watson out of here? Obviously, we're paying him all this money. He gets injured. Oh my God, it's the best thing that's happened to our franchise in the last 10 years. Like, Kenyon Green, obviously it is a big deal, but it's not to that extent. But yeah, there was rumors that he was going to be benched. They ended up not benching him. And now that he's out, I mean, we'll see how much it helps the O-line, but just the lack of targets, the bad O-line. I mean, having Joe Mixon back, they've still been winning games, right?
They go by Mixon, right, at this point, because whatever Mixon's doing is just trying to save them at this point, and he's been doing really well. I mean, fantasy-wise, he's winning games for me. He really is. He's putting up 20-plus points almost every week. This week against the Jets, he put up 16. So Mixon was a great addition for this Texans offense.
And the Bengals are feeling it too. So, I mean, that's one of those that it's like, that for sure was a great addition because it's helping the Texans out so much. And at the same time, you see the Bengals struggling, in the ground game so much. So yeah.
They've elevated Chase Brown, but, it's not Mixon. It's not at the same level.
Did the Bengals just underutilize him or not know how to utilize him? Or
they used the hell out of him.
They used him. They used to say he was a merchant for carries, that he was a carries merchant. So they just parted because he wanted a bigger contract. They had other guys that they thought they could still get the same kind of production. And they didn't. They're not getting the same amount. They are finding the end zone, but it's because, they're in red zone territory by riding Jamar Chase and then running it in with Chase Brown.
Yeah, you can't pay Burrow, you can't pay Higgins, you can't pay Chase and pay Mixon. Running back usually is the easiest position to replace in the NFL. Mixon had been there. They thought he was an older running back, shorter, lifespan in the NFL. And it's just, he looks pretty rejuvenated.
But
he does, bro.
But you see, exactly. You guys ended it on exactly what I wanted to talk about. Why did he just look like a different? Like he looks faster with the Texans. He looks stronger. He looks like he has better vision. So
he has a chip on his shoulder.
Like, are they running something different for him in Houston to where they weren't doing it in Cincinnati? Because he's the same person. He's the same guy. Like, why does he look so much better?
He was pretty consistent with the Bengals. He was always like a top 15 running back. Right now, he looks like a top 5 running back. But like Justin said, that might be, with the chip on his shoulder. Him and Diggs were like, that they had reservations for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, now Diggs is out, but Mixon has been a big bright spot for the Texans. And the O-line obviously isn't that good, right? But somehow the run game with the O-line seems to work out because he is running through some pretty big holes. On the first half Thursday night, man, I thought he was going to go for 200 yards, bro.
You guys taking anything on the fact that the Texans cannot defend the pass for shit. Like Stroud is getting sacked like crazy, but for some reason they open huge holes for Mixon. Like as an offensive lineman,
block protection is a lot different than pass block protection.
Hold on, as a RGV All-Star lineman back in the day, you know, what's your let's get into the mind.
Yeah, pass blocking is just more reactionary. It's kind of like a DB. You're waiting for the defensive end to come and engage with you, and you're dropping back to block. When you run block, you're going forward and you're attacking them. So you're engaging, and you kind of have some say-so on what way you want to move them. When
and you know the snap count as well, so you know when to move forward exactly.
Yeah, when you're pass blocking, you're waiting to see if they're coming with the bull rush, if they're going to do a spin, whatever that is, but you're kind of reacting as to where in run block, you're the one attacking and forcing the issue.
Boys, I mean, we gave y'all some inside information. We're going to run this clip, and Ben will do a training video later on. This was just the little teaser of it. But hey, we have
we'll put Roman through pass blocking drills.
Nah, hell no.
Ron, now that we have you, we've asked Ben here about the Texans. Let's ask you about the Cowboys and the situation that they're in, Ron. You know, it seems like a dire situation the way it's going. It seems like it's just CD and Dak at this point. We don't have no real running back momentum. We've elevated what's his name from the Vikings over, and he played with the Jets. What's his name? The running back, Dalvin Cook. We've elevated him up to this roster. Zeke's not traveling this week. What's going on with the Cowboys? What's the real issue behind the Cowboys' wins and losses this season?
I mean, what's not the issue? We go we release Zeke, get him back. Like Roland says, Micah Parsons out there focusing on his podcast, hasn't really been on the field either. We pay a mediocre quarterback all this money. The one weapon that we have on the field is out there like just like who's that? He's like the Junior Floyd on the Little Giants, like this amazing star. You know, he's like when the dad goes and gets Spike and tries to put him on the on the Giants, but then he ends up like he's just out there in the league of his own, dog. You know, that's the only hope that we have, and he ain't gonna win us games as great as he is. The franchise is terrible. We talked about the ownership being terrible. I'm glad. You know, I'm glad it's finally happening because we were so stuck on those mediocre years and making it to the wild card, losing in the playoffs, that was still good enough, as weird as that sounds for Cowboy fans, because it's like you have a little bit of bragging rights over your friends throughout the year. You have some notable wins. You make it to the play. Hey, but we're in the playoffs. You guys aren't in the playoffs. You know, whatever. But finally, we're getting fucking slapped with reality as big as the, Dana White's slap fucking league over here. That's what the Cowboys are getting right now. You know, I should make a meme like that with the Cowboys logo on the face of a person, and then just the NFL just fucking slapping them and knocking them out.
The big Hawaiian slapping, what's his name, Ben? Put that one up.
We're done. The Cowboys are done. I don't even care what happens for the next 3 years because Dak's going to be our quarterback. So, but before I finish, or I'm finished, but let's get to Noe's question. It's our first fantasy question here. He says, should I start Tank Bigsby over Bucky Irving as my flex? Ben can chime in.
Yeah, I think so. The Bucs are playing the Chiefs this week. The Chiefs' run defense has been pretty good. The Chiefs' defense, all in all, they're kind of winning games without going through shootouts. Bucky Irving has been, pretty good for the Bucs, but we've seen Rashee White, get back in the mix. I think he scored a touchdown last week. It's Noe asking, right? Noe, is ETN back? Do you all know if ETN is back, or is that still Tank's backfield?
I believe he's back. He'll be back like a little bit, not full 100%, but he will be on the field. Like it's one of those he has a chance to be on the field if he can kind of games. And they are going to Philadelphia to play the Eagles.
Yeah. If ETN's back, I'll go Bucky Irving. I mean, there's got to be something better out there right now, bro. Now that both of the starters are back and White and ETN, I would go Bucky Irving out of those two, but I'd be looking to do something else if possible.
Jerry agrees with you. Go Bucky Irving. ETN will be back, and there's pass catcher. They'll be playing from behind, says Mr. Jerry. What are you going to say, Gus?
I was going to say with Tank Bigsby, though, the threat is always there for the red zone. Even though ETN's back, you have Bigsby who's the physical guy. And even when he was there, they were already using Bigsby to run it in. So I kind of lean Bigsby myself.
Gotcha. Mark has another question there in the chat. He
Tony
says that-
Pollard or Tracy from the Giants at the flex position. Personally, I
Yeah.
think this one's a little easier. I think Pollard's been the main driving force for the Titans offense right now, and I think you would have to go Pollard.
Yeah,
Get my
Tracy
heart
has been,
chewy.
shout out Chewy saying go Lions. Wait, Justin, that might be a sign, bro. That might be a
Might
sign.
be it.
No, Pollard and Tracy, I mean, that's kind of a good problem to have there, Mark. Tracy did clear concussion protocol, has been doing good for the Giants, and they kind of said, we're going to give this kid more opportunities. But like Justin mentioned, Pollard has been the bell cow for the most part for the Titans. That's one of my favorite plays today. I do like the Titans to take care of business against the Patriots. I do expect Jacoby Brissett to be out there after Drake May got hurt last week. But Tony Pollard's getting, 16 to 20 carries a game. And then he's still catching like 2-3 passes a game. So I think that you got to go Tony Pollard there.
I think I'm going to go Tony Pollard also, just because he has a little bit safer of a floor for me. I think Tyron Tracy has all the abilities that you can if you want to. He was a converted receiver to the running back, but I think that the team that they're playing is just really, really good defensively. So I'm going to stick with Tony Pollard on this.
All right. Do we have? Let's go back to that page for the plays. I mean, is there any games that y'all want to talk about? Anything you have locked in already, Ron?
No, man, I don't. I'm just laughing at Jerry's comments. Like Pollard is the king, is the kind of back the Cowboys need right now. Come on, Jerry. I mean, that's the cherry on top, my boy. We send a great back off, but we've done it before. We sent DeMarco Murray away to, the Eagles in the NFC East. We did it with Tony Pollard. Doesn't stay in the division, but he goes to Tennessee. I mean, we're letting go of talent, and we ain't getting shit in return, man.
It really is that way.
Another interesting future, guys, just to bring it up, you got the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the 49ers, and who's the last team over there?
Rams?
Cardinals,
Seahawks, 49ers, Rams.
Right. You see the Cardinals have won 2 in a row now. The Rams kind of got healthy. They've won 2 in a row now. The 49ers are on bye week, but they're looking to get Christian McCaffrey back, next week. And the Seahawks, are without DK Metcalf for the second week in a row now. They kind of started off hot. They've been falling off. I mean, they lost to the New York Giants. In that division, the 49ers are minus 110 to win the division. I think preseason, they were 2.5, 3 to 1 preseason. They get CMC back, who hasn't played at all. They're going to get Debo back after the bye. They're going to have Juwan Jennings back as the number 2 receiver. We see that Kittle has gotten going, and he's looking like, the old Kittle. Call of Duty comes out, already came out. So Kyler Murray, it's got to decline a bit. He's my fantasy quarterback. He's been going off, but I mean, we really don't think that the Cardinals are going to win that division, right?
And the Seahawks are sitting there 4-4 as well.
Yeah,
but
look at the
they can do it.
Seahawks. Like Geno, I don't like the Seahawks to win.
Don't buy in on him.
DK's banged up.
Yeah, DK is banged up.
It's a 2-team race, I would say, between San Fran and the Rams. And then with the Rams, I mean, you saw Puka be limited in practice again this week, saying it was the same knee that he had injured. He's going to give it a go today. But, I mean, with both of those receivers, and the Rams were just looking to possibly trade out and, punt on the season, but they won 2 games in a row. So getting the Niners at minus 110 to win that division, I feel like it makes a lot of sense.
Possibly the best defense in that division as well, too. I mean, Fred Warner's been playing absolutely incredible this year. I have him in the league where we have defensive players, and he's been going off for me. So they have a solid defense. Brock Purdy, Ben mentioned all the weapons that they're getting back, which means that they don't have them right now. And he's still been winning some games. I mean, we saw the lead. Yeah, we saw the lead that they gave up. I mean, that they had on the Cowboys. The script changed, so the Cowboys score late in the second half, try to make it a close game. But I like that, Ben, at minus 110. I mean, why not take a stab at the defending NFC champs?
Off of the bye week, yeah.
The other one that's interesting is the AFC North. What's the ticket on the Ravens for the AFC North? Because they are not leading currently. The Steelers are winning that division 6-2. The Ravens are 5-3. What does the ticket look like for them to win the AFC North? Anybody know?
I don't
I
have
can't find
those odds. Ron can look those up.
Yeah.
I
Your
mean,
brother has a question too before we forget.
yeah, he's got a fantasy question. He says, need help at the flex, Flowers or Pollard, PPR format.
Another Pollard.
Yeah, another Pollard, and I'm gonna go Pollard. I'm not a big Say Flowers guy. They did add Deontay Johnson. They're going up against the Broncos, who do have a good pass defense, but we know that the Ravens get it done on the ground. I expect a heavy dose of King Henry, a heavy dose of Lamar. I would go Pollard, Edgar. I do think that the Ravens are going to put up some points, but I think a lot of it's going to be done over the ground. And when we do get to today's best plays, shit, as shameful as this is, I like the Titans -3 against the Patriots. And I think that, part of them getting it done, they are going to have to go to Ridley a little bit, but I think that it's going to be Pollard. So I would go Pollard there without a doubt.
Man, I can't find the division winner.
I found it for the
Okay.
Ravens. So they're
What do
still
you
favored
have?
at -165, even though they're down.
I was gonna say
in
it's
the
crazy that
standings.
they would not be favored when you mentioned.
It's only
that.
a game, so we'll see what happens.
Noe's throwing out some bets here. Noe has Commanders -4 over the Giants and the Cardinals -1.5 over the Bears. Isn't that kind of crazy though? Like the Bears, you would think with all the hype and all the shade that Kyler gets, that they're actually favored over the Bears. I mean, I could see it on paper; it makes a lot of sense, but just storyline wise, that's crazy. You see the Bears, you see the Cardinals, and you're going to think that the Bears are going to win. The Commanders -4. I want to talk about them because Jaden Daniels is getting all the hype, boys. But can we give some kudos to Dan Quinn? That defense has been getting better every single week. The Bears couldn't put any points up on them, and Dan Quinn's a great coach.
The Bears
We,
suck.
we saw what he did. We saw what he did with the Cowboys, and that's another thing too. When you talk about Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, I think what's hurting Caleb is the coach in that system over there. Dan Quinn is a verga. Dan Quinn is a fucking G. He's awesome. So when you have that with like a Bobby Wagner, some veterans, and then you have Jaden Daniels, who seems like he's a quarterback who's very, like that old saying, like a sponge, just soaks everything up.
He's an older guy. He's matured. He's 25, I think. So,
I like it, man. And I don't think that that's getting brought up enough is the system that Jaden Daniels is around compared to Caleb.
Dan Quinn, probably could be the favorite for Coach of the Year. Some other odds that we can look at right now, but Dan Quinn, Dan Campbell, of course, is going to be up there as well. But Dan Quinn and what they're doing, he's got to be up there for Coach of the Year.
And he's won everywhere he's gone. He won with the Seahawks. Falcons, somewhat won with the Cowboys as the coordinator, and then with the Falcons, he was in a Super Bowl, famously up 28-3 before they blew it, but he was there. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So he's a culture changer, and it's showing with Washington the way that they've flipped the switch so fast, because they were the joke of the league for quite some time, joke of the division, and now they're not.
It's really similar to Houston. Like, you just get the right rookie quarterback, you get the right head coach who brings kind of a defensive-minded, same as D'Amico, brings a certain culture to the team, and they just start operating under, different standards than what they were used to under the old resume. And you're just building new winning ways with a rookie quarterback, not rookie head coach, but brand new head coach. Kind of the way to do it.
All right, boys, let's close this one out. It's already going to be 11:30.
Let's close it with Noe's question.
Let's give it the best bets. I know Ben said he had a best bet to give out, so we'll do Noe's question and the best bet.
Yeah, I'll do two. That's going to be one of them, so we'll just answer it. I'm going to take the Ravens -9. Like I said, I think that they win by at least 2 touchdowns today after that loss that they had last week to the Browns. That's in the division against the Browns. They still got to have a sour taste in their mouth about that. They got a rookie quarterback coming into Baltimore. Hopefully they're in the All Blacks and they give them hell today. I like the Ravens -9, and then I like the Tennessee Titans -3 against the Patriots.
Ron, what about you? Justin? You have a best bet for today?
I really don't, man. I'm kind of scrolling. I just got an account today in the morning. I'm back, boys. We're back on the podcast, and I'm back on the fucking lines. My DGen, I took my DGen shot this morning, and I was looking for a book, so I got one. But so I haven't really looked at anything, but off the rip, I'm going to go with the prop that I saw because I was paying attention to this earlier in the week. Kirk Cousins at the Cowboys. I think his passing yards are over 252. I mean, I think he's going to throw all over this Cowboys defense. He's going to be at home. The resurgence of Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson out of the backfield. I mean, the Cowboys just ain't it. Speaking of players talking about or getting in heated discussions with media, I don't know if you saw Diggs go at one of the Cowboys reporters too. And he said something like, you don't know what happened in the play, or you weren't on that sideline, or you're not there in the huddle with us. Yeah, you can't do what I do. And
these nuts, he said.
Yeah. He said, the reporter said something, and he goes, yeah, why don't you do something on these nuts?
So the rails are off.
Bro. The rails are falling off, and then you get and then you got to go to Atlanta. But I will tell you this: the Cowboys, I believe, are 3-1 on the road. They haven't won shit all year in Jerry's world, so you never know. But Kirk Cousins at over 252, you know he likes to sling that rock.
For me, Ron, I'm looking at the 325 game. I'm looking at the Lions minus 2.5 at the Packers. I might buy it down to -2, but we're looking for a new home, and Lions might be it. So I'm gonna be watching that game.
I like Bijan's rushing yards over also, like I said, with no Tyler Algier.
Rolly. Hey, this is my boy Rolly, dog. He's a diehard Patriots fan.
Drake
so he had all those years. Drake made QB1. Hey, another rookie quarterback making some noise.
Is Drake making a play, Rolly? What's up?
He did get hurt, right? Last game.
What's up, Brad? Thanks for joining us, Brad.
Yeah, Brad's got some love for the Falcons. I agree. Falcons gonna fly today. Yeah. Brad's gonna be doing the dirty bird in the end zone with Kirko chains. I like Jerry right here. Dude, the interaction today was great. Appreciate everybody watching. If you can like and share, we'd appreciate it. Need a book, hit me up because that referral bonus.
Boy.
Everybody loves that referral.
Everybody loves when that bonus hits and you got that free play to just get a little spicy with the bets. That's what you do with the bonus and the free play.
Exactly. I wanted to
get 30 minutes till kickoff, man. Let's get out of here.
Set those lineups, boys.
Set those lineups. Take us out of here, Justin. Great show today, boys. Join us next Sunday, everybody.
Yeah, and I want to say one last thing before we leave. Tuesday, if you haven't voted, go out and vote. I'm not gonna say who to vote for, but go out and vote.
Hey, the champs are here, baby.
The champs are here.
The champs are here.
Peace.